Hi guys, Big P here from Rains Up Performance, bringing you today the Jaguar F-Pace D165 all-wheel drive. This is a 2-litre 4-cylinder diesel engine producing 161 brake horsepower and capable of 0 to 60 in around 9.9 seconds. Being the Mhev model, successor to the 2-litre diesel standard engine, this one has a mild hybrid influence, which is quite nice and increases the capability of the miles per gallon up to 45 miles per gallon, which I think for a car this size, which weighs nearly 1800 kilos, is quite an achievement. We'll take you around the car, we'll show you the inside. It's quite a beautiful spec, this one being the R Dynamic model, and we'll check out the car and we'll take it for a little drive. Tell me guys what you think, and like and subscribe to the channel, hit that bell icon so that you get the new videos as soon as they come up. Thank you very much so far for all your support. The channel's been going great at the moment. We're at nearly 1800 subscribers, which is absolutely fantastic considering we've only been going about 6 months. So I'd like to thank you all once again for all your support. Let's check this car out. We'll go around the car and then we'll take it for a drive. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Thank you. So the Jaguar F-Pace D165 Mhev. This car first appeared in showrooms in 2021. This is actually a 21 model. It's part of the X761 generation F-Pace, and it's a facelift of the 2017 Jaguar F-Pace 2-litre diesel E Performance. It's an all-wheel drive front engine 5-door medium crossover SUV with 5 seats and a total of 161 brake horsepower. The turbocharged 2-litre 16-valve inline-4 diesel engine with electrical assistant accelerates this F-Pace D165 to 62 miles per hour in 9.9 seconds, which is quite impressive for a vehicle this size. Can get a top speed of up to 121 miles per hour, and it has a curb weight of 1876 kilos. It can achieve up to 45.4 mpg on average and can travel 599 miles before requiring a refill of its 60-litre fuel tank. It has an 8-speed automatic gearbox and luggage space of 755 litres, but can be expanded to 1804 litres for larger loads with the maximum payload capacity of 664 kg. Quite an impressive vehicle if you ask me, and quite underrated as well. A lot of people would prefer to go for the Land Rover series or a Range Rover or something like that, and I think the F-Pace is not as popular on UK roads as it could be, but my opinion is it's an absolute fantastic car. It looks brilliant, and you know, I think it's great, and I think if you're looking at something like this, I wouldn't shy away from it. It's an absolute beauty of a car, and we'll take it for a drive and see how this thing drives. 8-speed gearbox, so it should be nice and smooth, but I'll show you the inside of the car as well so you can have a look what it looks like. Now, even though the front and the sides of the vehicle does look very similar to the 2017 model, it has had quite a nice facelift, quite an aggressive front grille. It looks really nice. It's got a front facing camera there as well, and parking sensors. The headlights, even though they are quite small, they're full LED and do have very high capability. Nice 19-inch alloy wheels with nice chunky P0 tyres make this vehicle capable of quite a few different ways of driving, and does have quite a nice 4-wheel drive capability, being an all-wheel drive model. Generally the vehicle does sit quite nice, and even the back of the car does look pretty tidy. But like I say, it is similar to the 2017 model, but there is quite a few differences in terms of the way it drives, the engine setup, the hybrid. It has a reversing camera there as well, little button there to open the boot, electric boot lid, and as you can see there, you've got plenty of space. Has a 12-volt socket in the back there as well. Has 4 load hangers which you can use to tie down any heavy loads, and space under there for any extra things that you have, which is quite nice. And you can fold those seats down to give you a bit more space. And electric boot lid, once again, you just press that and it's back down again. Quite a nice look in the black as well, black with black leather, which is quite a nice combination. I mean, that seat is fully back adjusted to mine. You got Isofix hangers all the way through, which is nice. Full leather interior and fully prepped out. Quite a beautiful interior. you look at the interior of these, they're completely different to the older one. The gear stick and the large dash there, quite welcoming, says good morning as you're coming in, good evening. And a fully digital dash, which is nice, and multifunction steering wheel with the aerodynamic badges on there, quite nice. Nice touches, fully electric seats, heated and cooled, which is nice to have. And large panoramic roof at the top there, which is a really nice touch as well when you've got kids in the car. Lets in a nice bit of light. Yep, generally very nice. Just take it for a drive and see what you guys think. So it's a keyless start, keyless entry, key stays in your pocket, and quite nice. Basically you just press the engine start button and you're off to go. Nice digital dash, all this is touchscreen, all your infotainment system, which is quite nice. All the climate control is quite nice. And generally I think it's a very comfortable and nice place to be, you know, and the seat itself is very comfortable. I mean, I don't feel like it's too small or not in the right place. Generally, I mean, I've adjusted my seat slightly forward now compared to where it was, and it's a nice comfortable position. There's nothing sort of intruding in your leg space, and there's plenty of space where your pedals are, where your feet should be, which is nice. And the view, even though compared to a lot of SUVs, the F-Pace is quite a low top. It has quite a, Jaguar's always trying to give it that nice aerodynamic sort of shape. And even then, your view out of the front window is quite nice. You can see it's this area here is not too low, and you can adjust your seat higher and lower to sort of make yourself feel that you are where you are. I mean, a lot of SUVs which are a lot higher are sort of, when you're sitting in the position, you can't see over the bonnet as well, because the bonnets are quite big and you feel like you're sitting in a van when you're driving it. But in this, it just feels like you're in a car, but it is comfortable to get in and out of as well, which is nice. And I think in terms of seating position and comfort of what you got around you, it's really nice. All it's all lined in leather and nice carbon there and chrome, and even the steering wheel's all leather stitched, which is really nice. The gear shift lever is all leather, so it does have quite a nice premium feel to it. Obviously Jaguar does try and give you that top end feel, but at the same time it is quite sporty as well. It's got the nice paddle shifts on the steering wheel, which are nice, and generally it feels very nice. So we'll take it for a drive and then see how it feels. Yeah, so taking it for a drive now. It is like I said, nice comfortable position, and pulls away nicely. It's very smooth for what it is. Quite a bit of road noise, a bit more than I'd expected, but it's expected for something this size. It's obviously quite large tyres as well, and does drive very nicely, accelerates effortlessly, which is nice. And sun's shining very bright at the moment, so struggling to see a little bit. But as soon as we get past and we get through those hedges. It does have a sport mode as well in this. I don't think you're really going to use it much, but if you do need to use it, it is there. It accelerates to 60 in 9.9 seconds, which is not as impressive as it could be, but it is the 2 litre. I know the 3 litre Jaguars used to get about 6 seconds, which was nice to have when you wanted it, but for the 2 litre, that's not bad. It does have a mild hybrid assistance with this, but it's not like a conventional hybrid which sort of starts off on battery and then goes on to the petrol engine or the diesel engine. This is more of just an assisted hybrid, which just helps it along basically, and you can't really feel any different. It just feels like you're driving a normal diesel. Feels absolutely normal. But in terms of handling and things, I mean, it goes around these bends quite nicely, doesn't feel any oversteer or anything like that, which you can sometimes get for these quite big bulky sort of vehicles, SUVs. But it drives very nice, very lightweight, doesn't feel like you're driving a big car at all. Feels like you're driving a smaller sort of XF or something like that, and it goes along quite nicely, to be honest. And generally it's quite a nice car. Wouldn't mind one of these as a daily, but obviously being a 21 plate, it's not exactly cheap. They still retail in excess of 40 to 45,000 pounds for something with low miles like this one. It's only covered about 15,000 miles. So you know, if you're in the market for something like this and you're willing to pay that kind of price, then it is a nice one to look at. We will put it into sport now just to see how it is. You have a mode button here which allows you to select different driving modes, and it has an eco mode, a rain, ice and snow mode, and then back into the eco, comfort and dynamic, and then you've got a race mode which makes all the dials go red, which is basically going to stiffen the suspension. It's called dynamic mode confirmed, and it's basically stiffening the suspension and gives you a bit more of a race feel. So we'll leave it in that for now, just to see how much difference that makes. I can't actually feel any difference at the moment in terms of suspension, but what we'll do now is we'll drop it into sport as well, and straight away you can see the rev counter has now sort of started revving a little higher. We've got a sport display in the dash, and the acceleration is a lot better. So it's holding lower gears basically, just so that it gives you a little bit more of a sporty feel. It's not gonna, you know, break any records in terms of performance, but it gives you that little bit extra if you need it, if you want it. But I think something like this, it's a nice little family SUV. You can have your kids in there in the back. You got ISOFIX fittings as well. You can have your car seats in here. You know, you can have a nice family trip in this, and it'd be comfortable. You wouldn't mind driving sort of 200-300 miles in this. You'd be comfortable, and you've still got the name of the Jaguar and the prestige that goes with it, which is nice. It's still a badge at the end of the day. You know, I would buy this over some of its competitors just because of the name that comes with it. You know, being a Jaguar. And I think generally it's quite a well-built car, and I know there's mixed reviews for these because they do have quite a few issues. But I mean, this one, the owner of this one's had this for about a year now, and he's done about 5,000-6,000 miles in it so far, and he hasn't had any issues, nothing. He said he's quite happy with it, and you know, it's all been going good. So far so good. So let's see. But yeah, we're gonna get a little bit of an open stretch now, so we'll give it a bit and see how it feels. Just get around here. Now I did drive one of the 2-litre diesel ones as well, and in terms of drive, to be honest, it wasn't far off this, the 2017 model. So there's not a lot of difference really, even in terms of the power of it. So yeah, so we're going off the roundabout now. It does redline all the way into 4,500 revs, and although you can't feel the acceleration, when you look down at the speedometer, it is there. And I think being an all-wheel drive, like I said before, you can't feel the acceleration as much, but it does go, and it's going very smoothly as well. You don't feel no sort of over revving or anything, and it doesn't feel too harsh. And in terms of handling, I mean, it's handling these bends even at sort of the speed we're doing, and it's handling these bends no problem at all. I don't feel like I'm being thrown about in there. You can see normally when you got a bit of an oversteer, you'll feel your body flying over to the sides, but in this it feels generally quite comfortable. It's really nice. Yeah, so I mean, if something like this you're looking for, you know, take it for a test drive, see what you think. But in terms of this against its competition, I think it's a nice car to have. It's quite nice, and if you can find the right one at the right price, take it for a drive and see what you guys think. If you've got any questions, drop them in the comments below. We'll do our best to answer them for you. But generally, I think the D165 Mhev is a nice car to drive, and I would definitely recommend it. But personally, in my opinion, if I was going for one of these, I would go for the 3 litre and have that little bit more grunt. That's just because I like to have that little bit more power, and I'm not going to get penalised on the insurance and things like that. So I think for me that would be the pick of the choice, because the JLR 3 litre engines are quite a nice smooth drive, and they give you more power than you need. But in terms of a 2 litre, this is not bad. It's not great, but it's not bad either. So it depends what you want from it. If you want just good fuel economy, then go for the 2 litre, and if you don't mind losing a few mpg, then the 3 litre is good, and you can go for that. Obviously, with this being the MHEV, the tax class is quite low as well, but being a new car, you're going to get penalised for the first 3 years as well, so you have to keep that into consideration, because it'll be over £500. And if you're going to buy a used one which is over 3 years old, then I think the tax is about 110 a year, which is not bad at all. So like I said, if you've got any questions, drop them in the comments below. Like and subscribe to the channel. We've got lots more coming through. When I stop, I will show you the infotainment system. We'll go through that, and then we'll take it from there. So that's the infotainment system. It's all touchscreen, which is quite nice. And you can see here, because it's in our dynamic, all the speedometers have gone red, which is nice. And it displays quite a few things in there. You can choose what you want it to display. Put it back on speedometer. And this is all touchscreen here. Obviously, this shows your AC and whatnot, and eco tips, how to drive the vehicle, and your history, your driving style. It's quite nice. It's actually giving about 33 mpg at the moment, and it's rating me a 37% driving score, which is not fantastic, is it, at the moment? But that must have been because of that one heavy acceleration I did. It's quite nice interior as well. I mean, if you look at this, this is quite nice compared to the old sort of turn systems. There's a little button here which you press and sort of drop it down into D, and then press it and drop it forward. And if you look at the reverse camera, the clarity of it's very nice as well. And when you're sort of driving off, this camera here is quite nice, because if you've got like bushes and hedges on the side of you, it sort of gives you that projection, which is good. And passenger seats quite nice and large, comfortable as well. Like I said, all heated and ventilated, and it does have the panoramic roof, which doesn't open, but does have a sort of a blind, which allows you to enjoy the views of this beautiful blue skies, which is nice. But yeah, generally for what this car is and what it's going to do, it's quite a nice vehicle to have, really, to be honest. And the refinements in there are quite nice. You've got a twin drink holder here, and a little cubby space here behind it, which is nice. And they've got the glove box there. Sorry, just there, you got the glove box there, and door bins are not the most spacious, but they are there. There's one on each side, which is nice. So generally quite a practical little vehicle, and not bad to have. So yeah, like I said, if you've got any questions, chuck them in the comments below, and like and subscribe to the channel. Thank you very much for your support, and we'll see you soon with another review. Thank you very much.